3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Nittany No Huddle Podcast.
We are back with another episode, Nittany No Huddle Podcast today. Today, I'm just going over real quick the 2024 schedule for Penn State football dropped. So I'm going to bring that up and show you guys the schedule, and I'm just going to cover real quick my initial thoughts on win-loss projection, even though I know it's way too early. So let's get at it here. Let's see here, bring up the schedule. Okay, looks like we've lost the schedule here. Give me 1 sec to pull it back up. Oh, there we go. Having some technical difficulties. So I'm going to try and make this full screen here for you guys. There we go. So 2024 Penn State schedule, we got 8:31 at West Virginia. We all knew about that game already. It's been on the record already, or on the schedule already. So not a surprise there. Then week 2, we are home versus Bowling Green. Should be a good action there. Some MAC football should be another pretty easy game. I am a little bit nervous about West Virginia next year on the road to start. I think West Virginia is going to keep improving. So hopefully that's a big win first week to kind of springboard everything. Then we have week 3, we got a bye, 9-14, 9-21 versus Kent State. So another kind of cupcake game, but nothing too crazy. Then we have our first game versus Illinois in the Big Ten schedule. That should be a pretty good one. Following that, 10-5, first time playing the former Pac-12 teams, UCLA at home. Then the following week, on the road at USC. I do think we'll have to see how the team develops by that point, but I do have a high confidence that we'll have a good showing out on the road. We have played in 2 Rose Bowls, and the crowd showing up for those games should be similar to this one. So maybe we might be a little forward thinking to think that's a win, but I could see us getting away with a win. Then going into the second half of the season, 10-19 a bye, and then we are in the gauntlet here at the end. We got at Wisconsin, going to be a tough game in Madison. The following week, we are versus Ohio State at home, which we all know our struggles versus Ohio State. And then following that, we also have versus Washington. If anybody's on here right now live, feel free to leave a comment on what you think of the schedule and what your projected win-loss is. So, like I said, 11-9 versus Washington. Luckily, we get that game at home, but I think that's going to be a really great game, and I'm personally very excited to go to it. 11-16 at Purdue and 11-23 at Minnesota, and then wrapping up with Maryland. So my initial thoughts is I think we should be undefeated headed into UCLA versus UCLA. I think we should have not an easy time with UCLA, but having them travel, big advantage for us. 10-5, so beginning of October, weather won't be too bad, but you never know. In October in Happy Valley can always get you with the rainstorms or the cold weather. I don't like 10-12 going on the road at USC, but we'll have to see if USC decides to play defense next year or not. They also will be missing Caleb Williams, most likely going to the draft, so who knows who their quarterback will be by then. Then we, like I said, go on the road at Madison, Wisconsin. I could easily see us losing that game. Just initial thought. Then Ohio, Washington. We don't have great success against Ohio. Washington, I think we could beat, maybe, depending on who Washington brings back. But they might have a lot of people leaving this year for the draft. So my initial thought is basically go undefeated to 10-12. I think we could beat USC next year on the road. And then I could see us losing 3 straight at Wisconsin versus Ohio State. or versus Washington. So I think if you come away with those 5 games, UCLA, USC, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Washington, with 3 wins, that should be good enough to get into the 12-team playoff next year. But it's a much more difficult schedule than we had last year. So, like I said, if you guys are here live, feel free to leave a comment. Yeah, not what I would call an easy schedule. No, I agree with you, cause and that's a pretty tough schedule looking at it. The non-conf kind of standard, but West Virginia, who knows what they'll look like next year. But yeah, initial thoughts. That's a tough schedule for any team to play, and I think that's what you're going to see moving forward with the merger of the Pac-12 teams into the Big Ten. It's going to be tough, and I think expanding the playoff benefit or kind of goes hand in hand with the merger of these teams and basically 2 super conferences. Like, you can easily get into the playoff with 2, maybe 3 losses. So just got to be top 12. So we'll see how it all pans out. But just wanted to get this out here, the initial thoughts. If anybody else has any comments, feel free to leave them down below. Like I said, I honestly could see us losing 4 games next year, but you never know. That's the thing with college football. You never know who's going to be up, who's going to be down. People moving on, the NLI, people coming in, transfer portal, all that. But yeah, definitely a much more difficult schedule than we've seen in the past. And I'm all for it. I mean, those are some great teams to play. So I'm a season ticket holder, so I'm pretty excited about getting UCLA, Ohio State, and Washington all at home next year. That's great home crowd. Who else do we have? Maryland and Illinois. So I'm pretty excited about the conference games at home next year. I think I'm gonna try and make it work. I have some family out on the West Coast, outside LA, so I might travel out to the Coliseum the Coliseum. That's where USC plays. So maybe go out there and see USC play, or Penn State play USC. I've been to the Rose Bowl before, so that's been an amazing venue to go to. Just traveling out there is pretty cool. So the following year, I believe we'll be at Washington, which is on my bucket list of places to go. So definitely would like to check that out. But yeah, just initial thoughts here on the Penn State schedule. Looks pretty tough. There's a gauntlet of games there, like I said, from 10-5 to, the Purdue game 11-16, where, I mean, any of those weeks you could lose. Like, those are quality programs, quality teams, year in, year out. So I'm excited. I think my initial feelings is, well, we might not make the 12-team playoff with this schedule, but as you've seen this year, you can only see so much of the schedule ahead of time and how teams play and develop. Like, people we may think are good, like Washington, they could be absolutely terrible next year, or we could even be terrible next year. And, come, USC game, we could already have 2 losses. So it'll be interesting, but I'm excited about the quality of teams we get to play. So there won't be any of this. I don't foresee anyways what we've seen so far, where it's just cupcakes all the way, then you lose to Ohio State, Michigan. It's the same thing year in, year out. I think the better competition throughout the season will really flesh out, like, okay, are we a good program or borderline elite? I wouldn't say we're in that category now even, but we're kind of knocking on the doorstep where now you're going to be playing all these good teams. You're really going to see who we are much sooner in the season than before, playoff selection at the end of the year. So I'm pretty excited. I haven't got to take a look at all the Big Ten schedules yet, but I'm pretty certain. I mean, most of these teams are going to play other good Big Ten programs. So it's kind of all about the money and the marketing and TV and all that. So they want the best teams playing the best teams week in, week out, which I'm all for. So I'll hang around here for another minute or so. If anybody watching has any comments, feel free to put them in. I'll read them out. But like I said, I think we will miss, just gut feeling off the top. I think we will miss the playoff next year with this schedule just because, I mean, those 5 games between October 5th and November 16th, like you could easily lose all of those, honestly. So I don't think we will, but I could see us picking up 2, maybe 3 losses in there and be sitting, 14th or 15th in the nation watching the playoff from the outside, kind of like we've been with the 14 playoff. So, but I think this is overall better for football, especially college football. Like this is quality programs playing each other. So I don't think we'll see this issue with teams. Oh, they haven't played anybody, 10 weeks into the season. I mean, you're getting quality opponents pretty much from the big October all the way to the end of November. You're playing pretty good teams. So I'm pretty excited. I think that's all I got for today. If you guys are watching this not live later on, feel free to give us comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the year. So anything you guys can do would really help out. We really appreciate it. So I think that's all I got. Nittany No Huddle Nation out.
Thanks for watching the Nittany No Huddle podcast. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Podcasts are posted weekly on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss one of our new shows.